So, first the music. And yes, we're back with this.
And we were never truly free.
So, where we last left off, your group had encountered the Takarim, investigated their rendering works, discovered what they were up to, and put a stop to it, which involved destroying the building and capturing both of the people in charge. Following that, you went through the twin paradises of Biotopia, met an old friend, and traversed into Elysium, which you found out is, as you might have expected from the pure goodness afterlife, a pretty nice place to live. At that point, you had a discussion with a cipher, a member of the Transcendent Order, about the various factions that basically follow the different philosophies in the Outer Planes, and some of the Inner Planes as well. Actually, a couple of them have headquarters in the negative energy plane. And by not necessarily joining them officially, but by aligning yourself with the various factions, you have been able to draw upon a bit of their power. Although in at least one case, you've yet to make a decision, which is also fine. But as you may recall, I did send you a special feat.
Yeah, you did. My very situational ability.
Yeah. I mean, you're just getting them for free. It's not going to break the bank or anything.
I was muted the whole time, but I was like, I don't remember what my thing is. Oh wait, no, there it is. I found it. It's pretty nice.
What did you guys pick?
I'm going with the faction of the guy that we met, and I got Transcendent Luck, which is I can sacrifice 2 of my luck dice to just automatically crit.
Cool. What was that faction?
The Transcendent Order.
Order. I was just mentioning them.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I don't remember what they were about, except for the one that I was thinking of joining, which is the Sensates, whatever.
Yeah. And Torpo, if you wanted to share.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of them specifically.
The Free League.
The Free League, which are all about being free. And I get the ability that I gain advantage on any ability check or saving throw against attacks, abilities, or spells that reduce my movement speed to 0.
Oh, neat.
So, less cool.
The IP Free League. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I'll probably make an official decision later then.
Yeah. And I also had something for Tiamos, who wanted to join the Sons and presumably also Daughters of Mercy. Anyway, so during your talk with the member of the Transcendent Order, you are interrupted a few times by basically cries for help. And they take various forms, like there's this family going to town, but one of their wheels broke on their wagon, and like even before you have a chance to say or do anything, the guy from the Transcendent Order is already holding up the wagon so that they can put the replacement wheel on. And later on, you find a songbird panicking over a egg that had fallen out of its nest, and once again, but in the time it takes for you to realize what's going on, the member of the Transcendent Order has already gone over to the egg and is starting to climb up the tree.
Good at this.
This is all very stupid.
You say that, but if you want to get anywhere in Elysium, that's the price you pay. Well, price, wouldn't really put it like that, but still,
That's
this is
what
a
you gotta
place.
do.
It's a place where good deeds are rewarded and bad deeds or negligence are. Well, you just don't get what you want, really.
Yeah.
Sounds like an extortion racket.
No.
I wouldn't say that. You're free to not do anything, but then you just won't get anywhere. And isn't that just true about life?
Yeah.
No, actually.
Pretty sure it is.
I've seen some real awful people get ahead, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, Lily says one in the mirror every morning.
Well, places where bad people get ahead by doing bad things, that's just not the kind of place this is. Oh, hey, here we are at the gate town that'll lead you back into the Outlands. Now, I suggest that, well, if you're gonna wait anywhere for the Madron March, I believe you're here for the Madron March, right?
Yeah.
Well, you'll want to wait on the other side of the gate town in the Outlands. Elysium has a lot of good things going for it, but, well, part of the problem is that it's a little bit too good for some folks. The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
but what
see
if
that.
you already want to leave?
Well, that's good. You should always be where you want to be.
Which is away from here. Away from you.
Well, okay, let's not be rude.
Negative.
But yes, Elysium has the sort of field effect of, for every week that you spend in Elysium, you have to make a, I think it's wisdom roll. And if you fail, then you will not willingly leave the plane.
That's a really weird death.
That's like one of those weird Gygaxian rules.
It's like just a bizarre like fail state, I guess.
Well, I mean, presumably someone can drag you away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for every week that you spend in Elysium consecutively, the DC goes up by 1.
Huh. Well, Blake will say goodbye to their new friend and step through the gate. Wait for the Modrons.
Yeah. And the thing about the Madrons is that, well, they would pretty much have to be aware of the whole do good deeds to get ahead in Elysium rule, but they're also so entirely single-minded that they ignore it and just proceed anyway. So, for once, you actually find yourselves ahead of the Madron March, and you end up having to spend a few weeks in the Elysium gate town. Let me just look up the name here. Let's see. Ecstasy.
Oh my god!
Not gonna lie, I kind of would have expected that to be more chaotic aligned.
Yeah. I did not come up with these names. But yeah, this is effectively an opportunity for some downtime. So is there anything you wanted to do to pass the time here in the neutral good gate town. I mean, it is similar in character to Elysium, but it's also much more reasonable because it's on the Outlands.
How opulent would you say this place is?
Well, I wouldn't say it's opulent exactly, so much as just everybody is happy to pitch in.
Saying, is there anything worth stealing?
Man, that depends on your definition of value, man.
I will destroy you.
I doubt too many people are hoarding wealth here, so probably not the kind of stuff Lily would want for the most
Yeah,
part.
probably not.
Yeah, but there is some nice stuff to collect. Stuff that you figure would be valuable back where you came from if you wanted to fence or just straight up sell it. But for the most part, they let you have it if you make them think you need it, or if you pay them a very reasonable sum.
They even take the fun out of stealing.
Yeah, what the fuck? So are there any, like, notable oddities?
Well, the gate towns are crossroads of the plains, so there's always something weird and crazy.
Oh, I meant, like, in the market.
Yes. Just in general, the answer is yes. There's always something weird and notable.
I mean, I can't really think of anything aside from just like help out in general.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I really would want to do. I mean, to be honest, the things you'd most want to do is probably, if possible, take some time to go back to Vienna and check on things.
Oh yeah, that's possible. You are aware of where the gate town, or the portal between Sigil and the gate towns are fairly well known in general, and of course in a place like this, that information is freely given. And you are also aware of the portal that leads from Sigil back to Mynth. And so while there's a bit of a commute going between two cities and the Spelljammer ride, you have some time, and the spell sending actually does work between planes.
Oh, nice. All right, so I'll just get Lauren or whatever to let me know when I should be coming back, and otherwise just go check in on things, see how all the rebuilding and stuff. I mean, I know it's been a while, so the immediate rebuilding's already done, but I'm sure there's always more work to do when you're recovering from a giant fucking cataclysmic zombie war.
Yeah.
And also, check in on Silky as well, and other people, I guess, for that matter. I mean, I don't know what's Harvey up to. Is he in Vienna or is he out doing other things?
Well, he seems to be busy with his own research since you guys are out doing this. So you are aware that he is in town at one point, but by the time you look him up, he's already headed back to wherever he comes from.
Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, there's always busy work to do, but in general, the state of things has not changed significantly while you were gone.
That's fair. Just got to make sure that people remember who's in charge, even if things mostly run themselves.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I will be able to cast Simulacrum. And then I can just leave another Aurelia to be in charge.
God, 2 Aurelias. World's not ready.
So what does Slake want to do here?
I mean, just basically help out in general. There's nothing much they want to check up on, like on the other side. Well, actually, I mean, I guess I might as well go back to like Okar or Viana, Kinta Tree, and like basically do the same thing I usually do on my other downtimes. Just help out and hang out.
All right. So you do that.
Yeah. I'm boring and easy.
All right. So eventually the Modron March does make it out of Elysium. I mean, it does take longer when you don't help people out along the way, but there is still a limit to the amount of time you can just sort of end up spending between places before finally, like, the plane takes pity on you and lets you get where you're going. I mean, it would be different if you actually caused harm during the incidents that you could potentially help out. Then the plane would trap you. But for the Modrons, they just ignore everything aside from what's directly in front of them. And so eventually they make their way to Ecstasy. And Lorm calls you guys back on to the Outlands. And from there you have a rather unusually calm trip to Fauno, the gate town for the Beastlands, which are next up on the list. And the thing about the Beastlands is that this is a place that the spirits of the wilds are at their greatest power. Like, every river has a spirit that embodies it and controls it and lets the world know what it wants. Every forest has its forest king or queen. Every pack of dogs or wolves has their alpha, who can take humanoid shape and issue commands to whomever the pack encounters. And interestingly, you also find out that this plane, the 3 planes of the Beastlands, are sort of intertwined with one another. Like, instead of being 3 discrete layers, just walking along a path can have you fall into one of the 3 planes, and then out again, and then to the 3rd one, and then back again. And the 3 are distinguished by the fact that one of them is bathed in constant sunlight, one of them is held within the shadows of twilight, and one of them is covered in a bright but all-encompassing darkness.
Guys, these planes are messed up.
You just figured that out, eh?
No, I thought I should just remind everyone.
I mean, it's new and exciting.
Yeah.
And terrible.
I mean, if you think this is terrible, you should see the Feywilds.
No.
Let's not be racist, please.
The other thing about the Beastlands is that now that you are on the chaotic side of the wheel, your safety is not guaranteed. The animals that hunt through the various wildernesses of the Beastlands will also hunt human prey and humanoid. Some of them will offer bargains or warnings before striking, but others just allow their animal instincts to rage and vent and find prey or defend its territory or attack what appear to be invading alphas. You also encounter a bit of an interesting mix-up while on the Beastlands. At one point, you come across a pool where there's this nymph, the nymph that embodies a river, and she's kind of dying because the water's being polluted by the march. I mean, it's semi-organic, but it's also semi-mechanical, and the mechanical bits are just sort of leaching out into the water and leaving just this oily scum across it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, she asked for your help, and so you looked around, and you found that the Modrons were marching along the river, just fording it straight down the middle. And the reason they're doing that is because on one side of the river is just giant walls of thorns, the unbroken walls of thorns. And on the other side, there are a pack of snarling dogs. And when you ask them, they explain that the reason they haven't confronted either force is because they have treaties that they had signed during previous marches to avoid harming either group.
You signed a treaty with some dogs.
Yeah,
But
the
with the
dog
spirit.
lord. Yeah, the dog lord, the
Oh.
spirit that controls the dogs.
Well, we know how the Modrons are with their treaties.
Yeah, but we're not bound by a treaty.
Yeah,
That's true. Alright. I mean, maybe we can get the dogs to leave. Why are the dogs here? Can we talk to the dogs?
It's their territory.
well, when you meet with the dog lord, he explains that the Modrons had entered the dog's territory, and so they had chased them out and into the river, which was the border of their territory. And the Circle of Druids, who it turns out are responsible for the Walls of Thorns, well, they can't let them cross to the other side because there's been a recent invasion from the Fiendish Plains, and cleanup is a bitch, and cleaning up after the Modrons will just make everything worse.
Fucking druids.
So the druids are willing to let this river die for the sake of not
It's,
having to clean up a little?
Well, it's letting a river die versus a forest spirit, which is much bigger and more powerful and much more endangered at the moment. So it's sort of a cost-benefit issue.
Fucking druids.
Alright, and so why can't the dogs let them go through the territory?
Well, the dogs are just being selfish.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's,
Anyway,
Listen here, Dog Lord, if that is your real name.
but let's see here. Yeah, the druids explained that that the only reason the Modrons are here in the first place is because they were chased off by a pride of Wemmicks. You're not quite sure what a Wemmick is, but after finding out who set them, you find out that it was a group of Avario,
Audio?
winged elves.
Oh, Jesus. The one thing worse than an elf.
Who had set the Wemmicks on the Modrons to keep them away from their tree homes, which otherwise would have been just torn apart by the march. And when you find out why they were heading towards the Avarios, you discover that there was a Mortai, just some sort of wind spirit, that had blown the Modrons off course towards the Avariel, and the person who put the Mortai up to that was the nymph of the river, who is currently in trouble.
Hey, you can tell we're in a chaotic plane. Okay, so why... Can we put them back on their original course then? I don't understand. This is too complicated for my
Yeah, this is.
my very tired brain right now.
I'm just dumb, so.
Why did the nymph originally put them off course?
So probably
Well,
so that they
because
wouldn't poison
they
the
cro-
river.
Yeah, because the Modrons crossed her river and polluted it last time there was a march through here.
History repeats.
Okay, so can I roll my cartography skill to fucking figure out a better route for the Modrons that would minimize the harm to the various peoples of this plane?
I was gonna say we could just talk it out with the Dog Lord, but
Well, yeah, we might still have to do that. I'm just,
Yeah.
this is all a little abstract, so I'm just trying to get a concrete idea of whether there is, like, a better route that we could try to arrange.
Plus, how often does it really get to roll cartography?
That's not a real thing.
There's a
But it should
cartographer's
be.
tools, actually.
Fuck. Well, I don't have those.
Anyway, so you do actually end up collecting a few favors in the process of tracking all of this information down, and so you're able to offer them to the Dog Lord, who in exchange allows the Modrons to exit the river and continue back onto their original trajectory.
the
Right.
simplest solution.
The Wind
Mission
Spirit for
accomplished.
the Wind Spirit for his part helps out the nymph by raining on her river to help get the pollution cleared out a little faster. And yeah, that was the Beastland adventure that I'm just skipping past.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have to say, I worry that this will be more difficult when we get into less good aligned, chaotic places.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. Speaking
Oh,
of,
Oh,
Fuck the chaotic alignment.
oh, I cannot wait until we start running into the chaotic evil shit.
Yeah, well, at least at that point, you don't have to worry about helping anyone.
Fuck chaotic alignment.
Aren't you
So-
chaotic?
Technically speaking, yes. Yes, I am.
I thought you were neutral evil.
It doesn't matter. I'm evil. Technically, probably neutral, because I do adhere to the law still. To some
Well,
extent.
it's simply that you put yourself above any sort of
Yeah.
ethical creed.
Basically, I'm not a fucking wanton murderer.
By the way, did you guys know that Harvey is chaotic evil?
That's by
Wait,
necessity.
really?
Not
Yeah.
not
he's
surprising.
been chaotic evil this whole time.
Not surprising.
Yeah, that's how Hoons
To
work.
be honest, I kind of just thought he was neutral.
No, like there were several times he approached us the last adventure. He's like, "Okay, I know you guys don't like murder as the first option, but hear me out."
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm not. The evil doesn't surprise me. The chaotic surprises me a little bit. I must say.
It's an Alhoon.
Well, he's talked about how he refuses to bow to any sort of god or higher being.
Yes, that is true. I do recall that. It's just he doesn't. I guess there's sort of different types of chaotic. To be fair,
It's almost like alignment.
this is the problem with reducing everything to like a 3x3 matrix. Is that
Yeah.
actually there's a lot of personalities that do not cleanly fit on there. So yeah.
But yeah, so secretly, Harvey has been my my example for how a chaotic evil character can be part of a functional party.
Right, by not being an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway,
An evil character being a functional member, that's fucked up.
so
Well, lawful evil is easy. Like
I mean, yeah. But also Lily isn't lawful evil.
So anyway, following following the march, you eventually find a portal into Arborea, the plane of chaotic good. It is here that everything is extra. The mountains are taller. The trees are bigger. The sun is brighter. The rain is heavier. The crops grow bigger.
The grass
Can't
is
believe
greener.
we're in Texas.
When people are happy, they are ecstatic. When people are angry, they are furious. When people are sad, they are tearing apart their clothing.
The land where nobody does anything in half measures.
Exactly.
A land devoid of nuance.
True enough.
Now, does that affect us at all?
To some extent, yes.
Huh, okay.
You do find it harder to keep a lid on your own emotions while you're here.
Alright, so
Yeah, well, I'm here.
if I really want to try to change my hair color again, this might be the place.
Yeah. And while discussing with some of the locals who happily offer their hospitality as you pass by, you discover that this is the place where the pantheon that many elves follow is located. You have absolutely no context for the names they toss around, and they do toss them around because they assume that you know them.
Do I
Like just,
fucking look like I would know
just
them?
smiles and nods and goes, and internally they're going, I have no idea who that is.
Do I fucking look like I would know them?
Coronary Larenthin, or what was that again?
It's brilliant.
Coronavirus.
Warranty ring.
Where is it?
That was me making a joke. It's Coralin Larethan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking goblin. I don't give a shit about that.
That's fair. Do you give a shit about the goblin gods?
To some extent. It's like a cultural thing.
I see.
Well, your gods are also different from the mainstream gods.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like the Germanic gods, where each culture pronounces the names a little differently and has a few different stories about them.
Hmm.
Like for one, it's Odin. For another, it's Wodan.
Whoa,
That's-
Dan. Hold up.
That sort of thing. But yes, aside from the elves, this is also the home of Olympus, who you hear is also very popular among many human primaterial tribes.
I stay far away from Zeus. I know where he's been.
No, the problem is you don't know where he's been.
No, I know. Like, out of
No one knows everywhere that he's been.
Listen, I know enough about Greek mythology to know mostly where he's been, and no thank you. Also, I don't need Hera up on my ass.
But eventually you make your way through the plain and come out to the other side to, the next gate town.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, nothing really to do there. It is Sylvania. Or Sylvania. And while I'm using this picture for all of the Outlands, in this case it is entirely incorrect. Because Sylvania, as you might guess from its name, is surrounded by a deep forest. You can tell that you're out of Arborea now because everything is not quite so extra as it used to be, but it's still a pretty big ancient growth forest.
Hmm.
And pretty soon after you realize that, you realize the other important characteristic of Sylvania, which is that this is the party town.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
There are always keggers and ragers and street parties, dances, spontaneous concerts, pretty much any sort of exhausting type of party is going on at any given time and any given place in Sylvania.
They've got all the party drugs, even some you haven't heard of.
Yes.
All right. Well, we can use a party, sure.
Yeah.
And it also turns out that you got here before the Modrons again.
Good.
Word on the street is that they've been held up by the Baki of Arborea, which are basically this whole faction of partiers and revelers.
They keep
Who's
trying
trying-
to get him Duodron to become drunk.
Come on, man.
Well, they
Come on, Modrons.
they are
Party
always,
with us. Just one beer. Come on.
well, like the Greek Bake, they aren't always nice partiers either.
Oh, I see. They're hazing the Modrons.
Can you blame them?
No, before you take the shot, you have to let us spank you 12 times without flinching.
No, at least the Modrons would be good at counting that.
But while you're in town, you find a decent place to stay called the Drunken Leaf, which is actually built in the shape of a gigantic broadleaf leaf.
Cool.
And yeah, they've got some nice rooms that are relatively quiet at night. They're just you're a few blocks away from the main roads.
Mm.
Are they soundproof? That's the important question.
Not at this place, but you can find some that are built for both like internal and external soundproofing.
What I'm saying is I don't need to hear my neighbors.
But yeah, while you're there, you meet a tiefling by the name of Zaldra Maloney. Turns out she's staying at the Drunken Leaf as well. And as soon as she hears that this is your first time in town, she takes it upon herself to set you up
Oh no.
for all the best parties and all the best people in town. She knows everybody, apparently.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm in.
Yeah, what? And she's actually kind of interesting for a tiefling because she looks mostly human, except that her skin is the wrong color, and she's got 2 sets of arms.
Whoa. There's no wrong color, Bobbin. Please.
Her skin is an unexpected color.
Is it like
Okay.
red?
Yes, and
Fair.
the second pair of arms are actually end in just sort of stubby mitten hands. She looks like the demon in her ancestry was probably a Glabrezu.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
okay. Big crab thing.
Well, it's sort of got the head of a jackal, and then a pair of crab hands underneath their regular arms.
That's pretty sick, though.
It is. They're pretty neat.
Interesting.
Okay, I found a picture of one and it looks stupid. I take everything back.
Spooky boy.
He looks real fucking dumb. Holy shit.
And another interesting thing, by the way, is that Zaldra, like right here in the module even, is non-gendered.
Huh.
Interesting.
Finally. Someone else.
Also, really quick, the fucking wiki I found that had the Glabrazoo.
They look
Is-
more or less intimidating depending on what edition.
It's really good because like all of them they look fairly intimidating, except for second edition, where it looks like a frightened dog.
Anyway, like I said, Zaldra knows all the best spots in town, so you just ask them for what kind of parties you want.
I mean, Lake is perfectly happy doing basically whatever.
All right. Well, there's always a street party going on after dark.
Ooh. I mean, Lily wants to fucking eat. It's the partying she needs.
Yeah, I mean, I really would probably prefer something on the classier side, if possible.
All right. Well, they do have like relatively classy stuff, just nothing stuffy. So they've basically you might see a an area dedicated to like actual dances rather than just over medicated freakouts, so to speak. And so, yeah, there's the space for dancing and a space for talking and drinking, and everything is nice and relatively calm. So that might be the kind of party you're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more Aurelia's style.
All right, and so what did Lily want to do?
Eat.
Eat. Not a problem. I mean, especially because Arborea is the breadbasket of the plains. Like I said, everything is extra there, including all of the crops.
But is it extra good?
Yes.
Good. That's what I want.
Like you learn as you just sort of wander from one party to another, grabbing stuff off the buffet tables, that apparently just saying the words grown in Arborea is enough to double the price in most markets. Which is why in a lot of markets on the lower end of the Great Wheel, most of the merchants claim that their products are from Arborea.
Perfect.
Well, bottom right end. In the bottom left, they don't lie as brazenly as that necessarily. But then the day finally comes, and in this case, they don't take several weeks, but just a few days to finally catch up and arrive in Sylvania. And like anything else, and everything else, the Modron March coming through town is cause for a celebration.
Fucking shocking.
And so, but this is a particularly large celebration, and so the entire town comes together and gathers along the main road as the Modrons march past, and just across from the main road, there are vendors lining up, offering paint brushes and cans of paint, silk scarves, beaded necklaces, all sorts of stuff at much higher than they were valued 2 days ago when you arrived. You note. But people are still buying them. Some of them appear to have been prepared and brought their own cans of paint. But yes, as the Modrons march past, they throw paint at them to decorate them. They toss beads. They wrap scarves around them as they pass by. It's like Mardi Gras, but in reverse, with all the spectators decorating the marchers instead of the other way around.
Throw a bead at it, try a drone, and it just lifts up its shirt.
No, they're throwing the beads so they can put more on, which is why it's in reverse. Please, we don't want to see your weird, fleshy, mechanical bodies. Stop it.
And you also note, somewhat thankfully, that apparently the Modrons don't consider this decoration to be a threat, because they are doing absolutely nothing to the spectators.
They're probably just numb to it.
They probably got like some sort of contract saying, "Hey, this technically isn't a threat. This is just what we do. Let us decorate you, and we'll let you go peacefully."
No, it's how this town works. It's expected. It would actually be weirder if they didn't do it.
Exactly.
Well, the big thing is that none of the marchers are foolish enough, barmy enough, to stand in the way of the march itself. And those who are decorating just sort of jog alongside the marchers in order to paint them up, decorate them. So is there any participation that you guys wanted to take part in?
I mean, we have to deal with these guys for the rest of the march, and I'm sure that they probably would not care. I don't want to hear about it for the rest of the march, how we fucking like painted them. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not really his style, but she'll watch, I guess.
yeah, like Lake won't interfere, but Lake will also not take part in it.
Lily's just gonna be elsewhere. I've had enough of the fucking Modron. The fact that we're constantly playing catch up is too much already.
Or waiting for them to catch up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hate it.
Mm.
It is a
Incidentally,
necessity, but I will not go out of my way to enjoy it.
Incidentally, you've actually noticed that you aren't alone anymore in following the march. Like, ever since you left Elysium, there have been a growing number of march followers who have been going along with the Modrons, either ahead of or behind them, like yourselves. The reasons for it tend to vary from person to person. Some of them just think, "Oh, hey, this is fun." I've always wanted to have an excuse to go on a walking tour of the Outer Plains. And others are absolutely convinced that the plains are about to end, despite the fact that this has happened multiple times before, and they want to be there to watch it happen. And of course, many of them are just there for the sake of curiosity, scientific or just idle. And so as the march gets moving out of Sylvania, You, more than a few of the people who were lining the streets and decorating the Madrons, start walking after them. But before you can join them, one of the friends of Zaldra that they introduced you to over the course of the last couple of days comes up to you and says, "Hey, have you seen Zaldra recently? I mean, I saw that they were with you when the march started, but can't seem to find her anymore. I can't seem to find them anymore."
Have you tried looking harder?
Well, I'm going to keep looking, but I was hoping you would help.
Yeah, I'll help look at like
Yeah, sure.
perception.
All right, yeah.
I'll help,
Perception
but because I have nothing better to do.
or
More of an
investigation.
investigator, surely.
Yeah, perception if you're just looking around. Investigate if you're talking to people.
I'm looking around and I got a 25.
Investigating, and I also got a 25.
Yeah, wow, okay. It doesn't really matter. Fuck, it really doesn't matter.
Let me roll for Grunash. No, I think Lillian got it. Patience -1. +5, so we'll roll perception. He got 22.
All right. So. So Lake comes across an old male Barriar who has an eye patch, white hair, plenty of wrinkles, and the smell of cheap beer just radiating in an aura around him.
Nothing I haven't smelled in the last couple days, so. Hey, have you seen? I describe what Valerian like.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a tiefling that description. They were with about 3 big fellers, about my size, dressed real nice. Each of them yellow hair, the heads and faces. Looked like they was nice to the post, if you're catching my meaning. And yeah, they took like I really think they took that feather you're talking about. There's also one of them cagers, you know, the ones from that cage. Well, it looked like they was helping him up. Yeah, helping that teeth thing up. Both looked like they'd had a bit too much. Happens fairly often around these parts. But could be they was helping themselves, I suppose. I don't know where they've gone. They just disappeared into the crowd from where I was standing.
For three guys, same race as the guy with yellow hair, you said?
Big guys about as tall as the Barriar, but not a Barriar.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll get to looking, I guess.
And let's see. Lily, you encounter a gnome who identifies himself as Eldred Moore.
What a mundane name.
It's a living. I mean,
Lily's already regretting this.
Now, I can't say I saw too much, because I was busy with this rotating lever here. I mean, you see, you turn this lever here, and this building over here, it'll turn into a catapult and fire its patrons into that pool, or that pool, or that pool.
Oh, hell yeah, show me.
Okay.
Oh,
Wee.
oh, that's so cool. I want to try.
Yeah, I suppose I saw a bunch of suspicious-looking folks. Don't know if they was with the person you're looking for, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of them, like 6 bashers, and they were carrying 3 people, and they were going off into the woods over that
Wait,
way. And he points in the
carrying?
direction.
Carrying.
Yeah, carrying. I mean, when I first saw them, I figured, oh, okay, I guess 3 of their party had too much to drink. Gotta go back home and all that. But, thinking about it, maybe they didn't actually know those people. They look kind of like they were from different parties.
Huh.
So yeah, if you're looking for someone missing, maybe they found your friend too. Maybe their friend had too much to drink too, and they took them away. And well, heck, I don't know what else might have happened to them. I'm actually kind of feeling a little worried.
Much like those woods over there, it's probably shady.
Oh, hey, that's a joke. Yeah, shady. It's also pretty serious, though. Maybe we should do something.
Yes, obviously I'm going to look into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked you. No, I just like to spend my free time asking about other individuals who've been carted off, and then just go on with my day.
You make a joke, but this is the this is the upper plains around here. Some people do that for a living.
It's weird. Hey, much like most of this place, really. Like, God, I can appreciate that you guys party all the time, but it gets boring.
Eh. Well, that's why I spend my days inventing.
Ah, I see.
I
Every day's a party when you're inventing.
sure is. Well, if you're interested, and I can show you some stuff, but you're probably busy right now. So, like, when you come back.
Yeah, I'll keep it in mind. You're pretty all right.
All right. And meanwhile, Lily, or not Lily, Aurelia encounters a female tiefling whose face basically constantly keeps shifting back and forth across the color spectrum. And as soon as you ask her about something, she says, "Yeah, I saw something, and I can tell you what it is, but my memory is foggy. It's all these parties and all this alcohol in the air. Makes it hard for me to remember things unless I hear a little chink, chink, chink."
All right. We're adults here. Just tell me what you want.
5 gold.
I'll give you 4.
Oh, my poor little memory. It's not quite loud enough for me to recall something.
Fine.
All right, yeah. Yeah, there was somebody suspicious. They were moving around, going through the crowd like they was looking for someone. Looked pretty old, all squinty and leathery. There's this young Burke. Just came up behind him, hit him in the neck, pulled him away from the crowd. They went that way into the woods, and for her, when you come back and when you meet back up, you will discover it is in the same direction that the gnome pointed.
Huh, alright. Well, let's go have a party in the woods, I guess.
Yes. And further investigation of the locals allows you to realize that the suspicious individuals in question are new in town. Nobody seems to know too much about them, except that they've been showing up regularly over the past few days, but they haven't really been partaking in the party.
Bunch
Bit
of
rude.
fucking killjoys.
And so you meet back up at the Drunken Leaf to compare notes. And by the time you finish discussing what you've seen and exactly which direction into the woods to go, and the proprietor of the inn, by the way, the proprietor of the inn is an elf whose husband is a former priest of Coralon. And she provides you some help because she's also a friend of Zaldra. And sort of as she's discussing the layout of the woods in that direction, the door of the inn just bursts open. And most of it appears to be Zaldra.
Oh, okay.
Parts of their arms and legs have been replaced by familiar-looking mechanical parts,
Oh no.
God,
What
the
the
shit
fuck?
again.
and a couple of blades are extending out from the arms.
Gonna kill another motherfucker.
Aldra? Are you okay?
Zaldra is not okay. They have a crazed look in their eyes, and with just a howl of fury, they attack.
Hey.
Alright. Are we rolling initiative or anything? Or are we just gonna get the chance to, like, do stuff?
I am going to roll initiative for this, but I am not going to bring up a battle map. It's just one person, and they aren't particularly strong compared to you.
Well, we all know who's going first now.
Alright.
Yeah, it tracks. Let me roll for Grenache.
Sorry, I'm really not feeling great. Yeah, let's I guess I'd just cast suggestion.
All right, well, what's the suggestion?
Suggestion is please calm down and you know, explain. No, you know what? Just please calm down.
Explanations don't have to be tied to this spell.
Yeah, just please calm down and don't hurt anyone. Is what I'm gonna say.
All right, well, that was without any modifiers.
Fair enough. Also with disadvantage, I think, but it doesn't matter. sorry. Okay. Does Zaldra calm down?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Zaldra just sort of slumps their arms and just sort of stands there, like, half upright, like a sort of like a puppet who half of their strings have been cut. There seems to be no real understanding in their eyes, even now. And without being angry, there appears to be nothing else to replace it. Oh yes, I should also change the music now.
Oh,
Oh. Okay, so I would like to cast Detect Thoughts, but the problem is that would end the concentration on suggestion.
Plus, you're not quite sure if there are any thoughts in there.
Well, even so, that would still be useful information. You know, I'm not going to be too stingy with my second level spell slots at this point, I don't think. But okay, well, I guess I'll just continue trying to, like, I mean, okay, it doesn't sound like I'm going to have any success if I start trying, if I talk to Zaldra more, but I'm going to try just to confirm.
All right. Well, yeah, you try to get through to them, and so does the proprietor, for that matter, whose first things she says is, "What did they do to you?" And yeah, there is no response. Like I said, without the anger, Zaldra has essentially gone catatonic.
Right. So, does this seem similar to the Sorry, I do not remember what the race was.
The Takaru, and that's the organization name.
No, sorry, I meant. Well, yeah, I mean, it obviously seems similar to that, their whole modus operandi in general. Yeah. I meant specifically the member of that, like, donkey race or whatever it was.
The Barriar?
Yes, the one who was, like, totally non-responsive and just mindlessly attacked us. Does it seem similar?
It does.
That's unfortunate, but not unexpected. All right. All right. Well, fuck. I don't know what to do here.
I think really the only thing that we can do is put them out of their misery.
Well, okay, I know that Lake loves to default to killing people.
No, but like, like that seems to be.
Is it possible that the people who did this can undo it?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I would like to try to investigate. We just need to figure out if there's a way to, I don't know, tie them down, something.
I mean, from what we've seen, they don't know a single fucking thing they're doing.
Well, I don't think there's any sort of help we can provide them here. Maybe if you take them with you.
Yeah, that would probably help.
Okay, but how are we going to manage that?
I have dominate person.
I mean, so do I, but that doesn't last that long. Like,
just a minute. Suggestion lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can chain suggestions, but like that's gonna get.
It's going to use up your second level slots, but it's not going to be too difficult to do, actually.
Second level slots.
Well, it also requires maintaining concentration, so
True.
that's not ideal either.
I mean, most stuff I do doesn't require concentration, so like if 8 hours passes and I can always do it.
Yeah, a whole bunch of you have suggestion, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
but
Sorry,
I'm
I
not
guess
voting it.
I'm still not sure what the God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm like really struggling here. Like I'm not feeling great.
It's all right.
It's just hard to stay focused. Are we gonna go try to investigate? Like, are we assuming that we're trying to investigate
Whatever happening in the fucking
what
woods.
happened here? Okay, yeah. So
Well, it's clear enough that the people who were abducting townsfolk off the street are probably behind this because
yeah,
Zaldra also got abducted.
yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Let's investigate there. Then I guess we can just bring Zaldra if we can just sort of usher them along.
You could replace the suggestion with stay calm and follow me.
Yeah, I suppose I'll do that.
All right, you guys have crazy high DCs, and Zaldra does not have a bonus, so
It works.
it works.
I was gonna say, Lily's not helping in burning spell slots. Lily does not agree with this.
Okay.
All right, so what time of day do you set out?
Immediately?
Yeah, I'd like to go now.
All right,
Now would be
so
good.
night will fall by the time you encounter something. And let me just drag this all the way over if I can. Gonna have to make a pit stop here.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with like D20's whole thing. Can't just drag and have it scroll.
So, just for the sake of it, roll survival to pick up the trail.
Okay.
Oh
well,
boy.
Grenache is actually good at that, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna roll for
Grenache
him.
is good at survival.
I'm gonna actually roll for him first before I roll for me, because if anybody's gonna actually do any survival,
Yeah, I wonder if you could help him and give him advantage.
well, in that case, if advantage is is happening, okay, well, 17.
And a 17 is good enough
Okay,
I'll
because
see what I roll anyway.
I want to see what. I just want to see. Like,
God, Susumu Hirasawa's stuff is super unique and pretty damn good.
what the fuck, man?
But yes, the trail that the brigands left is not hard to follow. They don't appear to have been trying to hide their movement at all. And there are repeated signs of a struggle along the trail. It shows that many of the people they kidnapped came to try to escape and maybe succeeded, maybe failed. Either way, you haven't heard from them. And eventually, you come across a small cave opening in the middle of the woods, from which a smoke trail is rising, as if someone has made a small fire inside using some green wood. So, when you get close to the entrance to the cave, you find a couple of sentries who apparently aren't that dedicated to their job, because one of them is leaning against a tree and just sort of looking up at the sky, and the other one is talking to the first one. So what do you do?
I guess like we can just open fire on them if it's anything like the last couple of encounters. Guys aren't shit.
Well,
They don't appear to have the heavy armor or insignias of the Takarim.
Oh, well then.
They appear to be just regular scum of the earth bandits.
um,
I kind of want to go up to them and try and start talking and intimidating them into saying, like, listen, if you try and fight us, it will go very poorly for you.
Are you going to commit to that, or?
Yeah, I'll
I
actually
mean,
commit
well-
to that.
Hmm.
I'll
okay.
I'll just start walking out and be like, hey guys, how's it going?
I'll let Lake handle the talking for once and see how it goes.
Yeah. Believe it or not, my character is actually somewhat built for talking. It's just that you're much better at it, so...
All right. You walk up to the two sentries.
Yeah,
and-
I'll just be nice and friendly for now. How's it going?
Oh, hello there. Nice night for it.
Nice night for what?
I don't know. Whatever you're in the woods to do.
Yeah, cool. So, what are you in the woods to do?
Oh, regarding the others inside.
What are they doing?
At this time of night? Probably dice games.
Alright, is all you got are, like, you guys happen to know if there's, like, a couple of big guys that would come this way, maybe carrying people?
Oh, you hear about the abductions, aren't you?
Yeah.
Honestly, our leader is probably the one you want to speak to. He's inside.
Alright. Sounds good. Do you mind if we come in?
Go ahead.
Thanks. I look at the others and I shrug, and I was like, that was easy. Let's just go in.
Well, I guess Lake really is good at this.
Didn't need to roll or anything.
I really is shocked. All right. I mean, are they not going to have any? If they don't have any concerns with going in, are they going to do anything if Zaldra follows me in?
No, they don't look too surprised to see them. But aside from that, all they really do is just sort of watch you go in. I mean, you get the feeling that they might go for their weapons if you went for yours, but their hands aren't even resting on their.
They're
hands
just
aren't-
there for the paycheck.
Yeah, their hands aren't even resting on their sheaths or anything.
I mean, we just go in, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right.
All right, yeah, and so inside you find 5 men playing a dice game. One of them is probably the leader, because his outfit is just a little bit nicer. His weapons are a little bit cleaner. And he's standing just a little ways back from the dice game. And something interesting you note, by the way, is that it is a very quiet dice game. You guys have seen your share of dice games and all the travels you've had, and you generally expect people to get excited to see what the results of the dice are. But in this case, you hear clack, 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 clunk. Oh, oh. Clunk, clunk, clack, clack, clack. Oh, oh.
I just
And they all look up as you enter, and the four normal bandits immediately go back to their game, and the guy who looks like he's in charge just sort of gets up and walks over.
hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
What's up, my dude?
Mm. So, my name is written down here somewhere.
Some loser.
My name is Ildern Grimm.
Wow, that's a really fitting name, actually.
Yeah.
These are my boys.
Hi, boys.
Your large adult sons.
It's more of the sort of professional adoption that comes from a group of people who are otherwise discarded by society.
Oh man, I know how that is.
So what brings you to my little cave?
The abductions.
Ah, are you here for revenge? For that one, I suppose.
More like
Not
And are you the one
so
who did
much
this?
revenge.
we're just looking for a way to like undo it, maybe.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say that guess that you guys probably aren't the ones who personally did all the mutilation and experimentation or whatever's going on here.
Oh, no. We were hired to abduct people out of Sylvania, and that's as
Right.
far as our job goes.
Now, are you finished abducting people?
Well, we took advantage of the Madron March and the larger amount of chaos that occurred when they came through in order to get a large group, but well, the contract term isn't up yet, so if the person in charge decides to get more subjects, then we're going to be the ones who get them.
All right. Well, that's not great, but
Well, we are members of the Bleak Cabal, so it's not like anything really matters.
That's
I
depressing.
do I know what the Bleak
You know
Cabal
what?
is?
You do you, buddy.
The Transcendent Order member, the Cipher, did a general rundown of all of the factions, and this is one of them. The Bleak Cabal believe in nothing.
Ah, they're nihilists.
Yes. They believe that everything is ultimately meaningless, that even though life does continue after death, that life itself also eventually comes to an end, and the purpose of living and of rewards and punishments in general is just meaningless. Everything is meaningless. The gods are meaningless. What's the point? And you were told that most of the Bleak Cabal members who follow this creed are generally humanists, in the sense that if nothing matters, then I might as well help people out. But you're guessing that this particular group has taken a different interpretation.
Are we sure they don't just have depression?
It could be both.
It could be both.
It could be both.
All right. Well, okay. How willing are you to betray your employers?
Well, when nothing really matters, it's important to have something that you care about, that you can consider important to yourself, even if it is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. And for me, for my group, it's honor is important, dignity is important. And so, at least as far as the terms of the contract goes, we are obligated to follow it until its completion.
Does the contract say anything about disclosing to wandering adventurers the location of your employer?
No, there's no sort of information security clause in the contract. That's why I'm talking to you about the whole thing.
Cool.
That's
Let's say
sort of what I
hypothetically,
figured.
your employer was fucking dead.
Well, then we'd have to find a new employer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you no longer be bound by. See, it's very simple, guys.
Yeah.
We murdered.
Right. So, in this vein, actually, one more question about the contract. Were you already paid up front, or?
It's a continual pay cycle.
I say.
Also, out of curiosity, you say you guys are big on dignity, but have you seen yourselves?
Yeah, let's not be rude.
Yeah, come
Well,
on,
when
man.
you've come to the ends of your rope, dignity is one of the last few things you can really hold on to. In the case of being outcast from society such as ourselves, it's important to have a certain meaning generation within yourself. And while dignity may mean certain things to some people, to us it means that people can take us at our word. And if we promise to do something, we will do it to the best of our ability. So
You,
if you seek to kill our employer, and if you tell us so in our presence, we will be obligated to try to kill you, probably die by the looks of you, but still,
Right.
better to die on your own terms than on the terms set by those who have no real care for you, the gods, the forces of the universe.
to be
That's
fair,
why
we
we've
never
chosen the
said.
life in this.
Very fair. Entirely fair.
Yeah.
Um.
To be fair, we never said we would kill your employer. I was just saying if you wanted to get it, reach a certain endpoint.
Yes,
That was
that's why we haven't killed ourselves on your blades yet.
Right.
Oh,
So
please don't say
here's
it
the
like
thing:
that.
we're more than happy to resolve all of this without any violence or bloodshed.
I don't want to kill you because you sound like you've taken the joy out of killing.
Yeah, it doesn't
And-
seem like it'd be any fun.
Yeah.
Fucked up that you'd find it fun to begin with, but okay.
I mean,
Do you want-
Aurelia wouldn't. I was just
No, I was talking about
making
Lily.
a joke. Oh yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise
Does
me
this
that
really
Lily would.
surprise you?
No,
Yeah, I
but
don't know
also
why that would
I still.
be.
It doesn't surprise me, but I can still find it's a little bit fucked up.
All right,
I mean,
but
remember
look,
that time that I told an elven queen I was happy that I killed her sister to her face? Like,
yeah,
this
okay,
is nothing new.
sure.
Sounds
Anyway.
like you've had a very interesting life.
Yeah, look, guys,
You don't
please
know half
can-
of it.
Doesn't really matter, but still, it's good that you can enjoy it.
It's the little
Yes.
things.
All right, look, okay. What I'm trying to say here, please try to ignore them. We don't necessarily want to, kill your employer. We're really just looking for a way to fix our friend here. Figure things out, figure out what was done exactly, that sort of thing. And so we'd really appreciate the opportunity to speak with your employer. I can assure you that violence would only ever be a last resort. There, if your employer were to attack us, for example, obviously we would defend ourselves. But I don't think there'd be anything that would breach your obligations to your employer by just letting us know where we might find them.
He is a bit on the barmy side, but I don't believe he's prone to fits of unusual aggression. So, as long as you conduct yourselves with some reasonable amount of patience and civility, there should be no real call for combat.
Yeah, we just wanted to, bring in some defective product, see how robust their return policy is and all that.
Perfect. It sounds like we can do business, as it were.
All right. Well, some of my other men are standing watch over the fallen tower that Valron is using. Oh, that's the employer's name, Valron.
Fair enough.
And I can give you directions to the tower.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, that would be great.
If you tell them that Grimm sent you, then they should let you in without much of a fuss.
Cool.
Perfect. We appreciate it. I dare say you are the single most reasonable bandit leader we've ever.
Yeah, luck is
Well, thank
we've
you.
ever had
shocking.
the pleasure
I
of
do
dealing
try.
with.
Thank you. I do try.
And you know what, buddy? I hope you keep on living your best life.
Hmm. Well, it doesn't really matter. But thanks for the sentiment.
All right. Well, that was easy.
I love clinically depressed bandits.
Welcome to Planescape.
Weird place.
Yeah, that's the Bleak Cabal for you.
Again, that's just depression.
It's basically, depending on which subgroup you find, it is every definition of nihilism.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend they join the subgroup that just parties. There's some good parties going on very close by. Like,
Now here's a
Yeah,
question: do they have a rug, and does it really bring the whole room together?
No, they're the ones who would piss on it. Remember?
Oh yeah.
all right, so let's go to the other place, I guess.
Yeah. And it's not that much farther out than the cave is. Valron's fallen tower. The area around here is still very heavily forested. The tower looks like it's seen much better days in the past. And for that matter, by the angle, it appears as if most of the tower has fallen over and been subsumed into the earth. So the entrance is just sort of sticking out and then just sort of slants inwards towards the cliffside behind it. So from that, you gather that most of the building is underground. And sure enough, another couple of bandits who are wearing mostly it's patchwork armor and clothing, but they have just sort of, you've noticed that they have little black armbands that are just sort of tied around one arm to represent the small amount of organization they belong to.
Fair enough. I'll say hello. Tell them Grim sent us. We're here to speak to Valran.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with that test subject behind you?
Yeah.
Got
Little
it in
bit.
one.
Makes sense. Well, Valron's in the laboratory, working on his greatest triumph, I think. Keeps shouting so loudly about his business that we can hear it even out here. All right. Well,
Anyone else in there or just him?
Oh, a few more of us are in there. A lot of test subjects, a few captured Modrons. He won't want someone poking around all throughout his stuff, so we do have an obligation to escort you in.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so What you see as you enter the building is a narrow hallway with a door on your left and a door leading inward. The door leading inward is open, and particularly it opens into a round chamber with a round table at the center and a bunch of seats surrounding it. The table is covered in the remains of a dozen different meals.
Gross.
It is gross. There are also just food-stained notes littered across the table and the floor. It's one
What kind of
interesting.
food?
Oh,
What kind of food?
just a variety of stuff. Nothing too expensive, but it's the sort of thing that you could get by foraging and hunting through the nearby woods. This is still close to the upper plains, and so there is plenty to find and subsist off of just in the wilds around here. But one thing that is curious is that despite all of the chaos and all of the litter, there is no smell of rot and no flies buzzing around.
Very clean, apparently.
He's invented insect repellent.
You suspect there might be some magic involved.
You think?
Because-
Fine magical insect repellent.
So there are two more doors on either side of the entrance, and one door right across from you beyond the table. Entering that leads you into a narrow corridor, or a short corridor, shorter even than the one you came in. And two more doors on the side, one more door in the center. That one opens up. A very long corridor extends outwards, and every 50 feet or so, you are flanked by a pair of doors on either side. The first door on the left is the one that your escort opens, and it opens into this sort of wing or leaf-shaped chamber where on one side it is straight, like it was along the stem of a plant as it follows the corridor, but then it opens up far more on one side than on the other, and it just sort of tapers off into a point at the far end. I've never quite seen a room with this physical description before. And let's see here, 10F. Surgery. So aside from the shape of the room, what strikes you is the fact that this room is also messy, but in this case, it is messy with the blood of humanoids and the oil of Modrons. There are several stones hung from the ceiling that have continual light cast on them to keep the area bright. Two tables occupy the center of the chamber, both of them in particular dripping with blood and juices.
Delicious.
One of them is currently occupied by the mangled remains of a humanoid body. The other one is currently empty, but it is equipped with various straps and shackles that appear to be designed to hold down a Modron. The black, oily substance on the surface of the table also hints at what the occupant could be. In between the two tables, there are several small tables full of sharp instruments, syringes, various other surgical tools. And the back end, the pointy end of the room, is partially obscured by a thick curtain, but seeping out from underneath it is a mixture of fluids, and misshapen lumps hint at what could be beyond. the back of the curtain.
A good time.
You're more than welcome to go find out if it's a good time.
No!
The last thing in this room is the surgeon himself, the man you presume to be Valoran. He is at this moment examining the mutilated humanoid body and is writing furiously in a logbook. He is wearing a long surgical gown that is spattered in more fluids. But beneath it, he is wearing a fairly simple outfit. Nothing particularly spectacular or wealthy. And aside from that, you see that he has this rather disturbing smile on his face. And it appears he doesn't really care for himself any more than he cares for than his dwelling, because his hair is just sort of up in a shock in all directions, snarled into various tangles.
Can't believe we found a real mad scientist.
Huh.
Sorry, did you say what species he is?
Human.
Okay.
Might not be completely human, but just from appearance, there's nothing to say he isn't.
Okay.
Hello.
Are these guards going to introduce us or anything?
Not their job.
Okay. Well, I mean, I figure they might alert their employer that they brought strangers in to see him, but sure, whatever. Yeah. Hello there.
Well, as soon as anyone clears his throat, he'll just his head will just snap up, swivel around, look at you. Ah, visitors.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Well, what brings you to my experimentation chamber?
We were here to inquire about your return policy on defective product.
I'm sorry, I haven't been producing any products for sale yet.
Yeah, she was just being cute.
Yeah.
I'm fucking adorable.
What? Well, I mean, he
To
can probably
someone,
see
probably.
the person behind us. Yeah. So you're the one who sort of I don't know how you would term it, mutilating people.
Ah, yes. All in the name of science, of course.
Right.
Trying
sure.
to get the transplants to work perfectly. Otherwise, there's no point in applying them to myself. If we can just do something about this madness issue.
Right. That
Yeah,
is the crux of what we wanted to speak to you about. What exactly happened? What? Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to presume, but you seem like the kind of person who would like to sort of go on about their work in an expository way.
It wasn't that
you're
funny.
right. It's been a long time since I've had an audience. But so the point of the whole experiments is to improve the human or humanoid form in order to produce a better, more long-lived entity using parts from Modron. Of course, issue being that Modrons dissolve away when they are killed to be replaced back in Mechanus. That's
Right.
been one of my most significant hurdles, but I've
I've solved that one. It turns out that if you only take parts from a single Modron at a time and replace some parts on the Modron so that it also is able to sustain itself in whatever form those things take, then it allows them both to maintain themselves, possibly indefinitely. I haven't been performing these experiments long enough to produce a longitudinal study of that sort, but nevertheless,
All right.
okay.
So-
as soon as he feels the tug, he said, "Oh, well, okay. I'll put the. We'll just finish that up later if you want to have a look."
But I have stealthy mage hand.
He's holding it in his hands.
Ah, I thought he had left it back on the desk.
No. He still had it in his hands as he's.
At
Oh,
least
I
he's
see.
kind about it.
Yeah, sure,
as
whatever
a
you
matter
can.
of fact, he'd been flipping back and forth for references.
Right. Okay. So, just to be completely clear, you decided the best way to, advance your studies was to just experiment on random people that you hired bandits to kidnap.
Well, yes. At the moment, the experiments are a little too dangerous to expect willing volunteers, and so I've had to go to alternate measures to find test subjects that I could use for my experimentation. You understand that this is not the kind of study that can be done first on animals in order to understand the issues that I'm coming up with. I don't believe that animals and Modrons are entirely compatible. Only intelligent beings can really accept Modron parts. It's, as it is, it's Modron madness is just. At
Right.
the moment, it's the heart. It's the biggest sticking point I'm dealing with. Speaking of which, your friend there, the person I'm assuming you're here to get revenge for, how is it that you haven't? How is it that they aren't rampaging right now? Or attempting
Suggestion.
to commit suicide?
We offer them
Magic.
treats that they really enjoy.
No, it's magic.
It's magic suggestion.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
well, I suppose that's a good temporary fix.
Yeah.
Of course, as you can imagine, it's a bit draining. So, unfortunately, the subjects that I've been keeping around for further testing, I've had to walk away. Created a
Right.
web for them so that they would avoid hurting each other or themselves.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
I've created a web, a magical web, to fill the space and make sure that they are immobile, incapable of harming themselves or others.
Right. So why'd you let our friend here get away?
I assume that my employees must have made a mistake at some point.
And at this point, the bandits who are still there just sort of shrug, somewhat guiltily.
I don't think it matters anyway, right? All right. So backing up a little bit, this Modron madness thing. Could you exposit a little on that?
Well, there's just some basic incompatibility between Modrons and actual living creatures.
Right.
That, well, I believe magic would be capable of crossing that boundary. It's able to cross a lot of barriers, after all, and create things that would otherwise be impossible. But
Yeah,
getting
magic
the
kind of
exact-
rules.
Getting the exact formula down is currently eluding me. I mean, I have been creating backup personalities, but at the moment
Backup
they're just
personalities?
sitting in the sensory or sensorium.
The
Sensorium?
Yes. Where have you been? Have you been to Sigil?
Oh, is the sensorium literally the place that the that we were talking about, or no? Is that a different thing?
Well, in Sigil, there's a place called the Civic Fest Hall, and it has the Sensorium,
Oh, okay.
the biggest sensorium that the Sensates have ever constructed. And even though the factions are technically banned from the city, the Sensates still operate the Civic Fest Hall. They just don't recruit there. And being a fellow Sensate, I have acquired some sensory stones to preserve memories and experiences of various guests and test subjects. Actually, if you've led some interesting lives, I wouldn't mind if you imprinted yourselves onto a few of my spare stones.
No.
I believe I've got hers around there somewhere.
Also, look, I've got advice for you in regards to bridging the gap with magic. Magic is for idiots and assholes.
You use magic all the time.
I am one of those two things, and it's not an idiot.
Fair.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with him on this one. All right. So, could we use that to fix her personality? Like, fix her mind? Is that a thing that would work?
You know, I have considered that, but unfortunately, the sensorium I have is rather limited. As a safety precaution, it's not. They stop working after they leave the area where they were imprinted. But you know, I've never actually tried that one yet. Oh, it's worth a shot.
Okay. Now, is it the literal, the presence of the limbs themselves that causes the madness? Like, would we need to remove the limbs first?
Well, if you remove the limbs at this point, you would have someone with considerably fewer limbs, and
Right. I
well,
mean, there is magic that can regrow limbs. I'm pretty sure.
well, yes, but then I wouldn't be able to use them for further testing.
Well, you already weren't going to be able to use her for further testing because she escaped. So, frankly, it kind of feels like we're doing you a favor here.
Well, before you do that, though, well, let's try that sensory stone thing.
Yeah, try that.
Sure. So the idea, just out of character here for a second, the idea is that her... Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah, let's just try the thing. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's do it.
Well, as you turn to the exit, the bandit who is standing just outside the door goes, "Oh shit!" And then a whole bunch of Modronoids just overwhelm him and burst into the room.
What?
Roll initiative.
Oh, okay. They're
Interesting.
okay. It's those guys. It's not.
Again, Jesus, why is this the only thing I roll 20s on? I've like never crit an attack.
Well. And that melee, and then Grenache, select Grenache, okay.
All right.
At least I'm not going last.
So you've got what used to be Zaldra up here in the top left, and a bunch of Valoran's escaped test subjects charging into the room from the upper right. You may notice that I've put Fog of War up. This is to make sure that the map adheres to the shape of the chamber.
Oh, okay.
So just imagine that there are walls where there is darkness. Aurelia, you're up.
So these are his test subjects.
Yes.
So we really shouldn't. We should try not to kill them, because we might be able to save them.
It is possible. You don't know just yet, but there seems to be one thing he hasn't tried yet.
All right. So if I use Hypnotic Pattern, that is going to end the suggestion on Zaldra. So someone else might have to pick up the slack there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that seems. I mean, like, Hypnotic Pattern only lasts for 1 minute, so we'd need to. I don't know.
Knock them out.
Yeah.
Knock them out, I guess, or tie them up, or something like that. But yeah, I'll try using Hypnotic Pattern on the whole group to start with, so they all have disadvantage unless they have something granting them advantage.
All right, that's
DC 19.
7 rolls. And your DC is 19?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that a good wow or a bad wow?
It's a should have gone to Vegas wow. Because I rolled 2 19s and 2 20s out of 7 dice.
What the? God damn it, Bobbin.
But-
I know, man.
Wait, but is that wit? But hold on,
Oh,
they
no,
have disadvantage.
that's true. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me at least get this first batch here. All right, and the 4 dice for the ones left. Oh, sure enough, highest was a 17.
Nice. Okay.
So that prevents them from attacking on their turn, but you will still need to incapacitate them on a more permanent basis.
Yes. And Zolder does not have suggestion anymore.
Yes.
Give it a minute.
Speaking of which, Lily.
Oh, I forgot Lorem's here.
Lily?
Purple, you're muted.
I
maybe?
muted myself.
Yeah.
Ha! I said I'm gonna chill behind that rock and stealth.
All right.
Don't even remember.
Any attacks or anything?
Well, I'm stealthing first before I attack, and I'm gonna shoot the boy on the left.
All right. Shooting cannot be non-lethal.
Oh, we're going for non-lethal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fuck all of you. Just gonna fucking stealth and chill over here then.
Well, just fucking hit one
No.
with the butt of your sword or something.
Actually, that could work. Let me just check the rules here. How many it works on, and how long it lasts. I mean, combat doesn't really call for it too often. "12 creatures."
Hmm?
What?
Lorm is going to cast Mass Suggestion.
Oh,
Hmm.
actually, I was gonna actually ask a question before that, but that works too. I was gonna ask if I threw a knife, could I just hit him with the pommel instead? Like a dipshit. Just throw my knife wrong.
Throw your knife wrong on purpose as a joke.
For a laugh, you see.
Yeah, I think the idea is that you are not able to control how your attack. You're not able to exert enough control over your attack uh, for a
Well, I'll
ranged
throw back
attack
in.
to be non-lethal.
Well, Lily
Yeah.
just disappeared from the fucking multiverse, so
It's fine, I'll just chill back here.
Lily just rolled the thing stealth roll so high that Lake has forgotten that she exists.
Because I just don't feel like dealing with raw attack numbers. So y'all have fun.
But yes,
Have
so
fun.
Lorm is going to shout, "Calm yourselves and sit down quietly." And yeah, the range is 60 feet. The target is any 12 creatures within range. And the duration is 24 hours, no concentration needed.
Shit.
I knew we brought Lorm along for a reason.
Well, let's see how many people it works on. Unlike you, his saving throw is not quite so incredibly high.
Well, yeah, he hasn't had like blessings from 2 gods to permanently increase his stats to 22.
Which is funny because he was kind of there for most of it.
I was gonna say, for my DC, it's just because I have
Was
sweet
Lorm?
robes.
Did Lorm come with us to the fake Asia?
Yeah, Lorm's been with us the entire time.
Sure, yeah. Well, he was on the ship for most of it, so I'm guessing that's
True.
why he never got most of those boons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair though, my DC bonus comes from the sweet robes. That are definitely leather armor.
Yeah, the sweet robes that are like the only thing in the game that increase your spell save DC. And they do it by 2, along with being like they're so overpowered, it's ridiculous.
It's so good, I love it.
And you're not even eligible for them.
Neither are you, they're evil!
Also,
I
you're
mean-
not specifically a wizard.
You don't have to specifically a wizard. Warlocks can do it, so Aurelia and
But
Lake
you
are
still
both
can't use them.
actually. Well, yeah, but I mean, if they were
Alright.
good versions.
So, Mass Suggestion has worked on all but 1, 2, 3 of them.
All right, let's just tie those ones up or bash them over the head. Whatever.
So, yeah, Grenache is going to have to knock a few of them out.
Okay. Run up to here, pull out the spear, hit it with the pommel or the hilt or
Shaft.
there we go. Yes, I was about to say whatever the hell the technical term for it is. Bind. There it is. Okay, so does 19 hit?
Yes.
Okay. What the fuck, man?
Okay, I assume you're going at the one below you.
Yeah, the one that isn't suggested.
All right.
Okay, well, let's do it again. What the fuck, man?
Wow.
Flurry of blows, whatever. It's fucking whatever. There we go.
More like flurry that blows, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Five.
think don't you have advantage because they're incapacitated, or am I getting that
No,
mixed
I'm
up
not.
with something else?
Hypnotic
Oh, no,
Matter
no.
just prevents them from taking actions.
All right,
sorry,
so
right.
10, and then that's a knockout. I'm hoping. And then Flurry of Blows is what, 2 extra attacks?
Yes.
Go to this one that's right above me. Or above him, rather, and then... Well!
Right.
3d6
That
plus
will
5.
be 3d6.
Yep. What the fuck, man?
Oh my god.
Well,
Note that the hypnotic pattern ends when they take damage. So
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but they're not going next.
Lake is going next.
Yep.
And no, you do not have non-lethal
I know.
Eldritch Blasts.
I know, but do you know what I do have? Big fucking stick. Find where I actually put that. Let's see. This attack bonus... Yes, it is. Okay, so I might actually miss with this because my fucking strength modifier is garbage. I'm luckying that.
Jesus, how did you roll like so many ones?
Okay. Alright,
that's
well,
still a miss.
it's still a miss.
This is
This is just not my day to roll, apparently.
impressive.
Apparently the dice just fucking hate me today, except for this one natural 20. I've just been rolling hot garbage all night.
Numbers are illegal.
Numbers are illegal.
Officially banned from numbers.
Alright, let's see here. I'm using the transmuter stats for Valoran. Because he is a transmuter.
I'm proud of him.
So, let's see here.
Don't listen to the haters, Valrun. You keep on living your dream.
He is going to cast Hold Person on the unsuggested Modronoid in the back. And I rolled a 20. So at least I'm not just screwing you guys, I'm also screwing myself.
That's just obscene.
Alright, and the only one currently able to act is the one in front of Lake. So it is entirely mad and will straight up attack you
Okay.
with
I don't know why it's attacking me. Grenache is the one who actually hit it.
its it has no ability to reason at the moment.
Okay. Sure.
Alright. And stats.
Nope.
That's it then. Aurelia.
Okay. Just gonna bash this thing. I guess I won't use any of the stuff I have to boost attacks or whatever. Probably
Overkill in this case.
Yeah, also, I don't know if I'm able to make that non-lethal. I don't really know the rules about making stuff non-lethal. I feel like I shouldn't just thematically use the fire sword version.
Yeah,
So
maybe
probably-
just the normal mace.
I'll probably just use the mace would be thematically the most appropriate, probably.
Yeah, technically the rules are that if you hit with a melee weapon attack, then you can declare that if it knocks the creature down to 0 hit points, then you have dealt a non-lethal blow.
Okay, actually, I guess technically the best would be to use the battle axe because it does slightly more damage. It's a non-lethal battle axe hit.
The flat side.
Yeah. All right, let's do that.
Yeah, just swing that shit like a tennis racket.
Hit. 13 damage. Okay.
And
This one was relatively sturdy. Go figure.
yeah, dang, maybe I should have used the booming blade. I mean, it is technically still just using a melee attack. But yeah, I suppose that's it.
All
So
right,
someone
Lily.
else wants to finish it off. Stop hiding, Lily. Come on.
Run up to a guy and hit it with the.
You know, every
Delta.
time you ask like that, it makes me not want to help. I'm gonna be real.
Maybe for the sake of, getting through the encounter, we can just...
Nah, you guys have got this.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why? Can you, like...
Well, if nothing else, you guys have kind of blocked off most of the slots.
I mean, I guess the other ones are completely charmed and suggested and stuff. You can just walk past them.
Nah, it's fine.
What? Okay.
Let's see here. I don't think... He does have the... No, that doesn't really have any non-lethal spells either, does it? I mean, Lorm still has the Staff of Power. Trying to think whether it would actually come in handy. Let's see, Cone of Cold, Fireball, Hold Monster. Oh, Hold Monster, that'll do. All right, yeah, Hold Monstered. The one next to Lake.
How long does that last?
Well, it's one of the ones that they get a saving throw every round.
Okay, so.
But in this case, it just means that Grenache has advantage on knocking this one out.
Okay. Let's do that then. Good. I hope a 28 hits, cause.
Oh yeah.
Not then. 16, and that knocks it out, I hope.
It does.
Whoop. Here. Yeah. Plus 81.
And that knocks that one out.
Alright.
So, combat's over.
Hooray!
Well, I have to admit, that was a bit surprising. I'll even need to inspect the test subject quarters to see what happened. You go ahead and do that sensory stone thing. Just make sure you don't leave before I get the results.
Okay.
Did your voice change in the course of that?
I may
It
have
did.
forgotten his voice.
Yeah,
100%
fair.
did.
I mean, we'll have the sensory stone on Dolky's head, or however that works.
All right. Well, first allow me to just describe what you're seeing. Let's see, number 7. Ah, yes. Now, the first thing when you enter the corridor, you see several bodies of the bandits who died trying to stop the horde of test subjects. And as such, Valrin has to tell you where to go to visit the sensorium, and involves going back into that circular room, taking one of the side doors into a side hallway, and one of those doors leads into the sensorium. And there are a variety of basically stone bowls that are holding rounded crystals, which are the recorder stones that a lot of the sensate experience is based around. And they don't seem to be... They look like they've been organized, but they haven't been labeled.
Huh.
Hmm.
So you guys are going to have to figure out how the stones work.
Like in an Arcana sense, the Arcana check sense, or in a like actually experimenting sense.
Well, you can roll Arcana just to get an idea, or you dive right in.
Let
No
me.
fucking clue. Let's just
Let me.
dive right in.
No, hold on. I've got. I think I might actually be the most on a bent one here. Hell yeah! Look at that.
Ah, yes, recording stones. You've somehow heard of these. But they are actually quite user-friendly. You simply have to relax your mind as you touch one, and the memories and experiences held within the recorder stone will flow into your head, and you will experience a moment in time or several moments, as if you were the person in that time, in that place. The emotions that you experienced will be there in your head.
Well, if there's anyone who's really good at just relaxing their mind. It's great. No, I'll try it out. See which one.
I mean, I already said I really was going to dive in, so.
Right. And there are enough stones that all of you could dive in at once. So just
Mhm.
if you does Lily do so?
Lily ain't touching anything from that fucking loon.
Fair enough. And yeah, as it turns out, a lot of the sensory stones are his experiences, Valorum's. And so what's interesting is that they catalog many of his experiments, and as you are in his head at that moment, you experience no sense of
Right or wrong.
yeah, essentially you see these bodies with only the anticipation of wondering what secrets you can unlock by performing this next experiment. And what little concern he holds for the humanoids he experiments on, you realize he has absolutely no compunctions against harming Modrons. As far as he's concerned, they aren't living creatures. They are simply planar created automatons, and can be disassembled as such. It can be disassembled and rearranged as if absolutely with absolutely no moral issues, even though they do scream in agony just like they did back in the rendering works.
God, I was just about to link that.
Yeah, I think we've all seen it by this point.
Yeah, I just, I had to.
Yeah. And for posterity, I was gonna link the whole comic, but this also just this one particular.
But yeah, essentially, when you are sort of protected from the moral implications of his actions while you are diving through his memories, but as soon as you return back to yourself, the weight of his actions and the fact that you experienced it firsthand weighs on you.
Cool. Well, I wasn't looking for my hair to change back anytime soon anyway.
So, did y'all have fun?
Fun isn't the right word for it, no.
Yeah, I did.
But,
You want to try?
Some of us,
I told you, I ain't touching any of that guy's shit.
yeah, some of us do feel, a moral obligation to try to help people. So sometimes it requires actively doing things that you might otherwise rather not do.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep looking for something
Feats.
related to our friend.
Yeah.
You do eventually find you do eventually realize that one of the side tables stacked with memory stones, or recording stones, is contains the memories of Valrin's victims.
Mhm.
And I can finally call them victims because I'm not saying it as Valrin.
Right.
Yep.
And most of them seem to be lives full of partying. It's actually kind of interesting going through some of the early memories that they had of growing up in a party town, being taught that the party is all. The party is here for you. Long live the party.
Praise be unto the
God
party.
damn it.
The party will never die.
I don't get the reference.
I mean, I assume part of the joke was the double meaning of party, but anyway.
It was also an Andrew WK reference.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Party, party, party. I want to have a party.
Fair enough.
Still love
Gotta-
that time that he performed fucking E3 for Bethesda, and nobody in the crowd was having it.
Yeah. It's like it's like the least excited I've seen anybody to see the Andrew WK.
Right. Anyway, yeah, you eventually find one that has a familiar sense of self with the two sets of arms that makes it clear whose memories you are in. And while you cannot remove this stone from this room without it losing its powers, you can bring her Zaldra here,
Zaldra.
Mm-hmm.
and well, what do you do with the two once they're together?
I don't know.
I put the.
Can't one of the wizards tell us how to do it? And also, I just want to make sure before we do this that this isn't like a one-time thing. It's not going to like delete the memories off of the stone.
I mean, would I have known
Should we
that with
check
that 24?
Well, at the moment, Valron is not present, and Lorm is out of his depth.
Okay, well, I'm going to go fetch Valron then.
All right.
Hey, buddy, we found the stone. Can you come
Oh yeah,
assist us?
I wanted to see how this worked, or whether it would work. Sure.
Right. Okay. So
By the way, turns out one of them must have sawn their way out of the web, and then just cut the others loose. Damn. Should have used thicker stuff. Or maybe I should stop putting saws on their arms.
Yeah,
I think maybe the latter one.
Okay, but saws on arms
I
are sick
have
as hell.
some more specific suggestions for you, but they're gonna have to wait for the
Yeah,
moment.
but saw arms are sick as hell.
All right.
Don't
None of you are there.
encourage him.
Right. Okay. So I'm trying to understand the theoretical basis here. Are we like copying the memories off of the stone onto the person's mind? Like are we just having them experience them and hope that it comes back? Like, or is there some sort of magical procedure here?
Oh, well, sensory stones are not designed to be surgically inserted, and however, if the stone contains this person's memories, and if they get to experience those memories after memory loss, and they have been used to cure amnesia before.
All right. So should we start by just having bring her here, pressing the stone to her skin, or however you use? I don't know actually how you use the stones. You just touch them. Is that it?
You have been using the stones, and yeah, it is pretty simple.
Right. I mean, I was saying that out of character.
Right, and so I'm explaining that having gone through several stones, it's actually very easy to do. Like, the hard part is getting these stones and then getting access to these stones.
Right. Okay. So let's try to get her to experience the memory.
All right, let's place the. Should probably be part of the original body here. Just remove any possible variables.
So he picks up the stone that you guys had separated out of the group and presses it just right up against their chest, top of the clavicle.
Well, this may take a while.
Okay.
All right.
Can I cast Detect Thoughts?
Yeah, you don't have a suggestion running, so
Yeah, I would like to cast Detect Thoughts. And just try to read what's going on in their mind.
all right. So you get the most complete picture, but even those of you without detect thoughts are eventually able to notice. But as time goes on, and what starts out as simple, in the moment narrative thoughts, as in just sort of reflections of moments in the past going through their mind, eventually just this sort of second layer of commentary begins to show up, of going, oh yeah, I remember that, or oh yeah, I was there and that was an important moment in my life. And eventually this second layer of thoughts gains greater strength, greater intelligence, and before too long, well, I wouldn't say before too long. It actually does take quite a while. But yeah, as time goes on, the others, those of you without detect thoughts, are notice that an intelligence comes back into their eyes. They aren't just staring vacantly forward. They're actually taking in the room and looking at individual people and not just sort of glazing past them. It appears that this procedure is working.
Cool. So now we just need to hope they're not completely traumatized by the fact that they've been mutilated.
Oh, they.
And while this is going on, Valrin does also say,
So I figured you guys are going to want some sort of compensation for, doing this to your friend. And I am prepared to offer 500 gold pieces for your troubles.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this a good time to mention that we're gonna not let him do this anymore? I feel like
Yeah.
we should keep it would be easier to keep this this going for now. But yeah, okay. So in character, I mean, well, sure. Honestly, we're a little bit more concerned with maybe we would like to restore the memories of all of the test subjects. I don't know if you would object to that.
Oh, no, I'd like to see if this is repeatable. If it is, then I would be able to move on to my greatest creation,
What's that?
myself. You know, there's a somewhat of a flaw in the sensate ideology, which is the idea is that the goal of living is to experience as much as possible. And unfortunately, the amount of things that you can experience is ultimately limited by your lifespan, especially for those of us who are mortal. Therefore,
and I know.
and the usual answer to this conundrum is that your goal should be to save your own memories in order to preserve them and pass them on to another generation. But personally, I would rather experience everything myself and experience as much transcendence as possible, and therefore having an unlimited lifespan would be ideal. Ultimately, that's the goal of these experiments.
Right. I mean, to be fair, I can't really disagree with that. That does seem reasonable. However, there is one sort of flaw that I noticed, which is that I think you may be unaware of something that you haven't been experiencing, or perhaps you are aware and don't consider it important. But when we were searching for her memory, we of course in the process experienced several of yours, and I couldn't help but notice that you do not seem to be capable of feeling empathy. Did you realize this?
Well, I am not devoid of empathy. It's simply that I can't afford to provide any to my test subjects. Otherwise, the experiments would quite simply end before success is reached.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that you do experience empathy, but it's selective.
well, again, having gone through his memories in person, he is very much goal oriented, as it were.
Right. That's fair.
And so that is why he's able to shut it off in certain circumstances. But the only creatures he doesn't feel any twinge of guilt about are the Modrons, and that is because he has completely convinced himself that they are not living creatures.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not entirely sure, cosmologically speaking, whether or not he's correct about that. I assume he's probably not, but
So, out of
they
curiosity,
are pretty weird.
you said your next plan was to work on yourself. So you're saying your next subject is you, and do you have any plans after that?
Well, the goal of being a sensate is to experience as much as the multiverse has to offer. Once I have completed my upgrades, I will be in a far better position to do exactly that.
So your experiments will end, is what you're saying.
Oh, certainly.
Huh.
I want that 500 gold.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of coming around to the idea that we should just help this guy. Like, if this is going to stop him from experimenting, I don't see.
If his end goal is to just that's it, he's done, then yeah, maybe.
I mean, the funny thing is, Aurelia doesn't even necessarily disagree with his like idea. It's just the part where he's willing to hurt people a lot in the searching for it. That's really the only part of his whole plan that she objects to.
I mean, I suppose it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the experiments, period. I did have an apprentice, after all, and she learned quite a lot.
Where
Yeah,
is she gone? Is she gone?
I think I know who his apprentice is.
Did she move elsewhere?
Yes, yeah, it was somewhat distressing. Lost a good lab assistant, and I wasn't even nearly done with my experiments, so she got a rather incomplete picture of it.
Where did she go off to?
I don't know. Lost track of her.
The answer is the grave.
Well, no, we didn't kill her.
Damn, we didn't kill her?
No, we
You
didn't.
captured
That's
her
right, we
alive
didn't
and
kill her.
Yeah, you captured
Y'all
her
are-
alive and handed her over to
Oh,
a bunch of crazy paladins.
yeah, she's in paladin custody.
Yeah, pretty
Hmm.
sure.
I wanted to kill her though.
Yeah. All right. Look, I'll be really frank with you here. You may have picked up on the fact that we're not huge fans of the whole mutilate and traumatize and otherwise hurt people for the sake of knowledge.
I'm glad you specified for knowledge.
Well, I mean, for most reasons. So we don't really want to let you keep doing that. That said, if you really intend to stop and you really feel like you can move on to experimenting on yourself, to which I personally have no moral objection, then at least I personally would be willing to, help you with that in exchange for a promise that really is the end of your experimentation on others.
All right. Well, it appears that this seems to be working. And
Okay.
And I do have plenty of sensory stones here that I can use for my own self-reclamation. So with Modron Madness solved, I would be able to, complete the transfusion of my remaining subjects.
Wait, complete what?
Complete the transfusion of body parts. Since the body has been the physical aspects of the transfusion have been completed, but recovering the mind has been what's been.
He's basically saying putting them back in their
Right.
right state of mind. Okay.
Okay, yes, because we want to do that, and then one further thing I guess we would have to say is, would you be? This guy might actually have the ability to do that if we want to try to restore some of these people.
Well, I suppose I would have to relocate either way. But once I recover their minds and have confirmed that this is that this operation it can be repeatably successful, then in order to evade further retribution, I imagine the next batch is not going to be quite as pleasant and polite as you have been.
Probably not.
Yeah, they might be a little more stabby than us.
Exactly. So with that in mind, you can be assured that my further presence near Sylvania is going to be short-lived.
Right. Okay, but sorry, I'm having trouble focusing, so I apologize if I'm just being dense. But like, he is agreeing that he won't do any further experimentation. I guess. Sorry, actually, there's one thing I just realized, which is that if he's doing shit to himself, he's still gonna have to harvest those limbs or whatever from Modrons.
Yes, but
One thing you did notice was a harness of Madron body parts back in the operation chamber.
Oh, so presumably he already has it.
Yeah, so he's already got the
Okay.
parts picked out and the Madrons captured. So whatever harm he's going to do to the march has already been done.
Right. Okay, I just want to make sure that we've definitely got it hammered out that no one else is going to be hurt because of any of this. As long as that's the case, I'm personally willing to let this guy live.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Give me money.
I do have to say, your whole plan is intriguing. One question, which is, why did you not simply try to become a god? Because frankly, that seems like a much better way to.
Far too much work.
Yeah.
Plus,
Okay.
you may not have noticed this, but I am not a particularly personable gentleman. And from what I understand, in order to become a god, you require a following.
Right. Huh, okay. I don't know. I mean, that's my strategy, honestly. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, good luck with that. From what I understand, the obligations of being a god can be quite restricting, although that can depend on exactly which prime material realm you belong to.
Yeah, fair. I mean, the gods where I come from never seem to do fucking anything. Except for one that I made a deal with. And another one who did some weird shit. Anyway,
And the one that's powering your buddy over there.
Isn't that the same one?
Well, Gia and the Mother Tree.
Oh, gee.
So you admitted the Mother Tree's a god? I knew
No,
it.
I've always admitted that the Mother Tree's a god. I never said anything about worshipping her.
Sure. And you definitely, at one point, insisted that she wasn't a god, but whatever.
No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure I've never not insisted.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway.
Yeah, Blake's insistence has always been on worship.
No, I know that.
Right, but... So, out of a sense of propriety, the wizard will... Valrin will invite you to stay for dinner, but considering his table, you probably think better of that.
Thanks, I
Yeah.
just ate before I got here.
I ate so much in Party Town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent winged.
And by this point, Zendra is able to hold their own stone to their chest and just sort of stumble around following you. And it's worth mentioning that the mass suggestion still applies regardless of their state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So they are being particularly obedient because of that.
Always.
Well, it doesn't require concentration, so it actually just really does last 24 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they are able... But shut up was not part of the suggestion, so they are able to... during the walk home, they are able to talk with you and about what just happened.
Okay, but hold on. We were gonna fix the other victims as well.
Oh yeah, Valron has promised to do that.
Yeah, there's no point us, sticking around for that.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
take a long ass time.
You could supervise, but yes, the whole process all told would probably take a few weeks.
Fair enough. I feel like there's a chance one of them just kills him, but okay. If he
I
wants
got
to take
better
that
shit
risk.
to do. Like, eat more fucking finger food.
Mm.
All right.
Well-
Well, problem solved? Question mark.
Yeah. Plus, at this point, you do have some catching up to do for the Modron March.
That's true.
So like,
But next step, or yeah,
no, no,
the,
yeah. Go on.
yeah, next destination is going to be Yggdrasil.
Ah,
Or
the
no,
life tree.
Isgard.
Okay.
Isgard, which has Yggdrasil inside of it. Yeah, of which Yggdrasil is a prominent geological feature,
Makes the mother
How-
tree look like a
Weird.
fucking sapling.
geographical feature.
How's Aldred doing though with the whole Modron parts and everything?
Well, as it turns out, they are able to fully control the Modron limbs.
So like, how much pain are you in at all times?
You know, it's actually been going down.
That's good.
Huh.
Well, I mean, if you'd like us to try to find a way to give you your original parts back, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure priests can do that or something, right? Surely there must be some kind of like restoration spell that allows people to regrow limbs.
There is regeneration. And
Perfect.
yeah, that might be something Zaldrin pursues in the future, but it's not something you need to oversee for yourself.
Sure.
They do assure you that whatever else happens with this new existence, they're going to figure something out. They've always been open to new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to give this a try before immediately trying to cut everything out and regrow the old parts.
That's fair. I will say that, weird as it might be, I think this has definitely made Aurelia want to pursue the sensate stuff a bit. Maybe with not exactly the same philosophy as this guy, but you know, the whole experiencing people's memories and stuff, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, you might want to just stop by the Civic Fest Hall. Right?
Mhm.
Since the factions are no longer technically part of Sigil, the Civic Festival has opened its membership. It used to be that you had to be a sensate in order to access the sensory stones, but now it's just a modest fee.
Okay, so I will admit that I only just now made the connection between the factions we've been talking about and the thing way back where you said the Lady of Pain kicked all the factions out of Sigil.
Oh yeah,
I only just realized those are the same factions.
yeah.
Somehow I didn't quite put those two things together.
Well, that is the end of this particular adventure.
Hooray.
Cool.
So from here on, it's time to go in to dive straight into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because as crazy as it's been, it's gonna get even crazier. In fact, there's the plane of being crazy.
Oh boy.
I'm sure that's handled with nothing but utmost respect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not
Joke's
it's
on
not
you.
like mental disorder crazy. It's there's a constant howling in the background that just prevents you from being able to think. Crazy.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so
And
it
here
has
I
no
thought
effect
the
on
only thing-
Lake. That's good to know.
Yeah. And
Well,
here
if
I
you
thought
can
the only
deafen
crazy thing was
yourself,
the-
that helps.
You can do a lot of things. I feel like it helps in that case.